The second leg of the Champions League semifinals are starting soon, so it's only right that I give you my predictions for these final set of games. Can Barcelona still make the final and beat Inter Milan away from home in the next fixture after a very entertaining first leg? Can Arsenal come back against arguably the best team in the world right now, PSG, in Paris, despite being a goal down? Well, let's find out what I think with my predictions. And trust me, you're gonna want to stay until the end, because I might go with an upset in this video. Let's start this off by talking about Inter Milan versus FC Barcelona, and wow. That first fixture was spectacular, phenomenal, entertaining. It was just absolute cinema. It might be one of the best semifinal matchups in the Champions League that I've ever seen. Now, don't be fooled by the basic stat sheet, because although Barcelona were dominant with the stats, with them having 19 shots at Inter 7, 9 shots on target to Inter's 3, and having an overwhelming 72% possession, it was actually Inter Milan who provided the earliest scare in the game and started the first leg hot. You see, in literally the first minute of the game, Dumfries would cross the ball to Marcus Thuram, who just returned from injury, and he pulled off some insane backheel goal to put Inter 1-0 up real early in the match. Bro, must have been watching Drogba Galatasaray versus Real Madrid highlights, because that was a beautiful backheel goal, man, I'm not gonna lie. And it gets even better for Inter Milan after this, because in the 21st minute, the ball would find its way towards Dumfries in the box, and he would score an insane scissor kick and put Inter up 2-0 away from home. Inter were scaring the hell out of Barcelona fans at the beginning of this match, and with the quality of the goals they scored, they definitely deserved the lead. But guess what? Talking about quality goals, the 17-year-old super talent Lamine Yamal steps up for his side in the 24th minute, and he would dribble past a couple of Inter defenders before caressing the ball into the left-hand side of the net, where the ball would hit the post and go in. What a way to make your 100th senior game for Barcelona memorable. K golazo by Lamine Yamal, man. This guy's simply too good. This guy's not normal. He must have been made in a laboratory. There's no way. Anyway, speaking about Yamal, he would have a great opportunity a couple of minutes later, and he would mix up DiMarco completely before having a shot saved onto the crossbar from Jan Sommer. Imagine if the shot went in too. That would have been insane. But anyways, Barcelona's relentless pressure throughout the first half would pay off in the 30th minute, with Pedri's beautiful ball finding the header of Rafinha, who put it on a platter for Ferran Torres in front of the goal to equalize the game for Barcelona. And that's how the first half would end. That might have been one of the greatest halves I've ever seen of football, no troll. Anyways, the second half will continue with the excitement, with Denzel Dumfries once again coming up big for his side in the 63rd minute, with his header from a corner giving Inter the lead again. But this time the lead wouldn't even last 2 minutes, because from a Barca corner, the ball would find Rafinha from outside the box, and he would score a rocket to bring Barca back level 3 during this game. Well, actually it was given as a Jan Sommer own goal. That must have been karma for stat padding his Dortmund and stealing Kubarsi's goal, for real. But anyways, Inter thought they got the 4th goal in the match, but it was just barely offsides. Literally a pinky toe offsides. How is that fair, man? Inter low-key got robbed, but Lamine Yamal would provide some more magic later too, just skilling past his opponents like he's Neymar Jr., and even had a crazy shot that hit the crossbar yet again. I keep glazing him, but this guy Yamal is seriously too good. Where would Barcelona be without him? Genuinely. Imagine if he was actually injured after the warm-up. Barca definitely wouldn't have come back in this match. Oh, and speaking of injuries, Jules Koundé had to be subbed out early due to an injury, and it's unclear as of right now when he'll be back. But going back to the game, it would end in a 3-3 stalemate, and I guess you can say Inter are heading back home at the San Siro as the favorites for the second leg, since I mean they are playing at home after all. But that sounds great and all, but what do I, the best football predictor on YouTube, think is gonna happen in the second leg? And who do I think will make the 2025 Champions League final in Munich? And man, this is closer than what y'all might think. We can't really take Inter's poor form in Italy recently into account, because they still balled the hell out against Barcelona in the first leg. Plus, with Inter playing at home, there is a reasonable chance that they come away with the victory in the semifinals and make the final. But I think I'm gonna have to go with the underdog in the second leg. And despite Barca facing some injury issues, I'm still backing them to beat Inter Milan in Italy and make the Champions League final. And the reason for that is very simple. Barcelona got the greatest X factor in the sport right now, and that's Lamine Yamal. I swear, this dude dyeing his hair blonde gave him Super Saiyan abilities. He's been cracked since he switched up his hair. But yeah, I think it's hard for Inter to deal with this kid, man. Even Inzaghi said after the first leg that Lamine was playing too good and that they had to put 3 defenders on him. That's insane, bruh. So with him carrying Barcelona in the second leg, I'm gonna predict that Barcelona goes all the way to the final. Sorry Inter, it ain't personal. And for those of you wondering where the hell I am right now, I'm in Japan, but the grind never stops. I still gotta make these videos for y'all. But that's probably why the mic quality isn't the best. I'm literally outside right now filming this for y'all, so my fault. But now let's go over to the other Champions League semifinal tie, where we've got one of the best teams in the world this season in Paris Saint-Germain taking on the Gunners Arsenal. But before we talk about my predictions for this game, please remember to subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and it means a lot, so thank you. And also, if you guys can, follow my Twitter and my Instagram, both at Nabuto, if you just want to hear my thoughts on football games, transfers, and overall, just to get to know me more. And also, make sure to join the Discord server, link in the description, and also follow me on Twitch. Live streams do happen occasionally, so if you want to, feel free to hit me up with a follow on my socials. That'd be appreciated. Thank you. Anyways, back to the PSG versus Arsenal semifinal. Let's talk about what happened in this first leg tie. And wow, this game was something, huh? It felt like it was a pretty even game, with PSG being slightly better on the day, and the basic stats reflect that as well. Overall, everything is split pretty evenly. Arsenal had 10 shots at home to PSG's 11, while the Gunners had 1 more shot on target compared to PSG. And even though they had less possession, PSG only had slightly more with 53%. And even if we look at the passes and pass accuracy, it's also pretty even, with the fouls being split split evenly too. So like I said, this game was pretty 50-50, but PSG were indeed slightly better, and that was reflected on the scoreboard. Literally at the very start of the game, literally almost right after that mid-ass tifo was revealed by Arsenal. Seriously, what the hell was that?
What the hell is even that?
In the 4th minute of the match, Kvaratskhelia was wide open on the left-hand side and started dribbling into the box. And once Declan Rice got dragged into helping double-team Kvaradona, he passed the ball to the wide-open Ousmane Dembele, who brilliantly finished the bouncing ball into the back of the net off the post with his left foot to give PSG the early 1-0 lead they so desperately wanted. What an incredible finish from Dembele, man. He's got 25 goals in 2025 alone. Could this guy actually win the Ballon d'Or? Only time will tell. Then in the first 20 to 30 minutes, PSG would dominate Arsenal on the pitch and create more opportunities for themselves. And eventually in the 16th minute, Kvaratskhelia would get past 2 Arsenal defenders before being held back by Jurrien Timber in the box. But somehow the ref did not call this a penalty. And honestly, this call was kind of 50-50. I can see why it wasn't given, but I can also see why it should have been given. I did want to see PSG get awarded a penalty for this though, just because I am rooting for PSG in this tie. Please PSG, save football. But yeah, Timber thought he was playing American football with this tackle, no cap. Anyways, like I said, PSG were creating a ton of opportunities. And then in the 31st minute, Desiree Doué, who the more I watch him, I'm more convinced that he's a reincarnated Neymar, had a good shot on goal, but Raya does well to get down low and stop it, and Fabian Ruiz would hit the post from this attack too, but he was miles off sides. After this though, Arsenal would slowly get back into the game, like in the 36th minute, when if it wasn't for a last-ditch tackle by João Neves, Arsenal would have definitely scored, or that chance in the 45th minute where Maslow Skelly, who's an absolute monster by the way, feeds Martinelli a perfect through ball and almost scored if it wasn't for Donnarumma getting a good hand to it, making that save. But by the end of the first half, it was still 1-0 to PSG. But Arsenal did think they found a way back into the game early in the second half, and it was thanks partly due to another Declan Rice free kick. But this time instead of scoring, he assisted Marino, who scored with his head from a set piece opportunity. But after VAR took ages to make a decision on whether he was onside or not, they confirmed Mikel Marino was onside and the goal did not stand. Arsenal had a great chance a few minutes later in the 56th minute though, with Trossard through on goal in a 1v1 situation, but Donnarumma gets down low brilliantly again and makes a terrific save to keep Arsenal out yet again. This guy Donnarumma is having a world-class Champions League campaign for PSG this season, man. Minus that goal he conceded to Harvey Elliott, he's genuinely been perfect. And what a save that was against Trossard too. That was insane. PSG would then create some good chances at the end of the game though that they should have scored from, like Barcola in the 84th minute who shanked his shot wide, or Gonçalo Ramos in the 85th minute where he got free with his run that was onside by the way, and then toe poked the ball into the crossbar that he should have finished from. But with Martinelli misfiring the last shot of the game at the end, PSG will win away from home against Arsenal in the first leg 1-0, and this was a very important result for PSG to get heading into the second leg. But it's not over, and PSG would be well aware of that. After all, they lost at home 1-0 in the round of 16 before coming back away from home in the second leg to Liverpool and barely making it through. They're going to do their best to prevent that from happening to them this time against Arsenal. But how can Arsenal improve in the second leg to try and make their first Champions League final since 2006? Well, there are a few changes that need to be made. First, with all due respect, how bad was Martin Odegaard against PSG, man? He did absolutely nothing. This clip right here describes his performance today genuinely. More specifically, if you look at his advanced stats, bro had 0.08 expected assists, 0 for 3 crosses arrived, 0 long balls, 0 shots on and off target, failed most of his dribbles, lost possession 14 times, and lost the majority of his duels. By the way, he played the number 10 role. He should be having better offensive stats than that, man. Come on now. As the captain of the team, you have to lead by example, and he did anything but that. In fact, I felt like most of Arsenal played pretty well against PSG. I thought Martinelli and Trossard were the more dangerous attackers. Declan Rice and Marino looked solid. Kivior was actually pretty good at the back too, as he's replacing Gabriel for the rest of the season, etc. It's just Odegaard who is bad. And also, I hate to say it, but Bukayo Saka was invisible. And maybe that's credit to Nuno Mendes, who's been having an amazing Champions League campaign. He kept Mo Salah quiet, kept Aston Villa quiet for the most part, and now Bukayo Saka quiet. But honestly, I just expected better from the Arsenal star boy, man. Marquinhos literally created more chances than him, bro. Like, that's not the type of output you want to see from your best player, supposedly. So if Arsenal want to have a chance against PSG in the second leg in Paris, they need these two players I just mentioned to show up. Or if Odegaard's having another stinker, let Nwaneri play the 10. Fuck it. Why not at this point? Your season's on the line. And just to flame Arsenal a bit more, just because, you know, I'm not really a big fan of them, you know what I'm saying? First, that set piece coach is annoying as hell. Bro has main character syndrome, just sit your ass back down. And second, that atmosphere at the Emirates was embarrassing. The PSG fans in London were way louder. And Mikel Arteta made a whole video for Arsenal to try and hype the fans up before the game, and yet they still didn't show up. That might be one of the worst home atmospheres I've seen in a Champions League semi-final, I can't lie. But I've roasted Arsenal enough now. Do I think after saying all that they could come back in this tie against PSG? And the truth is, no, not really. And no, Arsenal fans, Jinx Buto isn't going to strike again, calm down. I just think PSG are going to win the second leg at home 1-0 or something and make the Champions League final for the second time in their history. I just think these guys are too good. Their offense is just so fluid, anyone can play anywhere up there and attack Arsenal from every angle, and it's just not fair. Low-key, as a Liverpool fan, I feel like we were too harsh on the players in slot for getting knocked out by these guys. These MFs are cracked. But yeah, I don't really think it's going to be easy for PSG. PSG, especially if Ousmane Dembele isn't fit enough for the game, which I think he should be, but just in case. But yeah, I still got PSG beating Arsenal in the second leg, like 1-0, 2-0, or 2-1 or something, and I got them making the final for sure. Like I said, no jinx Buto, I'm not jinxing this, bro. PSG are going through. But anyways, who do you guys think will win each second leg semifinal clash? Let me know down in the comments. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate it, and please be sure to also follow my Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and join the Discord community. All the links are in my YouTube description. And last but not least, if you want to learn about the potential countries that can make their debut at the 2026 World Cup, you definitely want to check out this video right here. You won't regret it.